Hello and welcome to another quote-unquote exciting video log by Zuladan. Firstly, I'm going to go ahead and mention this. I know I've mentioned it a couple times before, but yes, the desk keeps moving. It's now settled into its potentially forever home. I can't speak for the future, but I mean, I'm comfortable with it where it's at now. It's, nice. I don't get window glare. I get more even lighting. And I can do the whole backdrop thing for when I'm recording, but since this is a video log, I took the backdrop down because, it didn't seem like it was doing much good during a video log. So, yeah, you can see the wall and the pretty thing my mom cross-stitched. Yes, that is actually cross-stitched. That's not a painting. But anyway, that aside, you may have noticed if you've seen the channel lately that the general layout has been, overhauled and redone instead of having separate. There's something I've been doing on the channel since I began the channel years ago, and that is generally that every single game has had its own playlist. In larger games, like say KOTOR or Dark Souls, or even games with 10 episodes or 5 episodes, it works. The outlier in this is when I play indie games that have 1 episode, or 2 episodes, or 3 episodes. Basically, it ended up being with my channel just had a mountain of 1 episode playlists. So, we spent a while and reorganized it, and basically we broke it down so that anything below a certain number of episodes doesn't necessarily have its own playlist. There's a few exceptions, but they have been lumped into a kind of a group playlist for games of that genre, like Short and Spooky is where all the kind of one-off or short spooky games are. That's been done with the funny / quirky games, the adventure games, and the spooky games. Haven't really done it for the the RTS games because there's only been a few of those. I could probably just I could lump those playlists into a playlist, but that would be weird because they've generally been long enough to have playlists of their own. And then I've got a collaboration section instead of just the online games. So yeah, that's still kind of a work in progress, still working on it, still ironing out the kinks there, and just generally, learning and growing and expanding as we go. I do want to check something real quick. You don't need to be on that screen. That's why everything looks oddly dark. I knew something didn't look right. I didn't know what it was. Oh, that probably means the webcam for Alien Isolation is going to be a little dark, but we'll live with it. It's a dark game. Nobody would ever notice if I hadn't just pointed it out. I mean, we can fix that in editing. Yeah, I know, but anyway. Sorry, that's a whole side tangent and a half. I mean, that's the general gist of it, and that's one reason I've been procrastinating making this video log, because there's really not a lot of tangible updates. The reason that this kind of got pushed into being an actual video log, though, is, last week YouTube decided in their infinite wisdom to revoke my monetization status, or mainly my status in the YouTube Partnership Program, under accusation of, quote, reused content. Examples of reused content would be the few AMVs that I have made, or the Alex Louise Bromstrong, or the Princess and the Frog redub with Tom Kench's voice. Those are reused content, because basically they are, and the Scotsman montage, but that's no longer visible currently due to, copyright reasons. Once in a rare while, it's become visible again. YouTube automatically does things. It's weird. It just exists off in the ether. Those are examples of reused content because they are basically either clip shows or clips put to music or clips that have been redubbed. Normally, redubbing something would make it not reused content, but since both the voicing and the content were both technically reused, I think that lumps them into the reused category. Now, my problem with this is that, obviously, this of course is just a random estimated percentage and not accurate mathematically, 99% of the channel is not reused content. What probably happened is because those AMVs still draw a decent number of views, YouTube looked at it and said, wait a second, even though not a single one of them has ever been monetized. I've only monetized the gameplay, but Anyway, YouTube gave me instructions, said, make a video this long containing this, do this to make an appeal, and we'll look it over. Well, I did just that. Systematically went over every type of video I've ever made, showed them, like my YouTube Creator Studio. Yeah, they denied my appeal, said that what I showed them was not representative of my channel, even though I literally went over every single video type I make and covered the basic percentage of the channel that each one of those things makes up. Somebody just didn't want to do their job. But anyway, I'm not blaming nobody. Kind of irked by it. I wouldn't have minded if they took the monetization away and said, hey, your channel's just too small. Come back later when you're bigger, when you're more popular. You're just not getting enough views for it to be worthwhile. And I'd have said, okay, I can accept that. I kind of got in on a technicality anyway. But to me, it's insulting that it was under the accusation of reused content. That's kind of the slap in the face, the throwing mud on me, what have you. That just kind of besmirches my honor, and kind of offends me a little. But anyway, what can you do? It's not a great loss. Like, one thing for anybody that's ever looking into getting into the YouTube Partner Program, one thing they forget to tell you is there's a minimum $100 cash out before you can touch any of the monetization funds anyway. You have to withdraw at least $100 at any given point for it to be withdrawable. Yeah, in the total time I've monetized, I've earned like $5, so it's not like it was a great loss. That money is still there, and in the future, there's a 30-day waiting period before I could reapply. I'm not going to reapply right now anyway, because the channel's just not big enough right now. The monetization was a perk, and it gave me more metrics that I could monitor and graph, and basically it gives you a few more little graphy things in the YouTube analytics that we were appreciating quite a bit because it was fun to look at. I'm not greatly insulted. I'm not abandoning YouTube. I'm annoyed by it, if anything, and I would like if they had listened a little more. It's not worth raising a fuss over, though. Didn't earn a lot from it anyway. But on the subject, and this is something I try not to bring up a lot because I know there's channels that ram it down your throat every single video. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not good at self-advertising, so it's weird to me. If you would like to support the channel, the Patreon is still active. Likewise, the Discord channel is still active if you'd like to join it there and, general chatter, get a preview of the upcoming videos for the week. And by preview, I mean you get to see the thumbnails a week, early. Like the start of the week, I show the thumbnails of the upcoming videos for the week, so you know what's coming out that week and which days and whatnot. Generally have a chat, a few game devs in there, people I've done collaborations with. It's a nice place. And then, of course, there's the channel Twitter, which I still don't use properly, but it exists if you want to see randomness. But yeah, that about sums that up. I really don't know what else to say. The basic sum and summary of it is YouTube does YouTube things, and I shouldn't be surprised by YouTube doing YouTube things. Channel has been updated, and the desk should stop moving. Now, someday, maybe things will change. Who knows? You never know what the future will bring. I never would have thought I'd have the desk on this side of the room, and it did. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Open to suggestions, criticisms, comments, and I do have a caveat that I only listen to constructive criticism. If you just show up to tell me I'm an idiot, well, good for you, sir, or ma'am. You gotta be constructive if you're gonna give somebody criticism, because otherwise they ain't got nothing to build on with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you later.